Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Gamescom LOL Challenge. We are now approaching the later stages of this tournament, and this next game should be a really interesting one. H2k going up against SK Prime, and it's the winners bracket finals.
Yes, winners bracket final. It is a best of one, of course. We do have H2k on the blue side and SK Prime on the red or purple side, whichever you prefer. Loser will go into the consolation final, as it's being called, which is kind of the losers bracket grand final, and they'll go
If
against,
you want,
if
yeah.
you like, against Ninjas in Pajamas, and the winner of that will go into the best of three versus the winner of this match. So we're actually within our last 3 games.
Yes, we are. Of course, grand final being a best of 3 means we've got a few games yet to go in terms of rounds, but that's still a way in the future. That's still for tomorrow. For now, we have H2k versus SK Prime, and I've got to say, at this stage of the tournament, really it is now down basically to the 3 teams that came into this very much as the favorites: NIP, H2k, and SK Prime.
Yeah, well, realistically, I just think that even though NIP are in the top 3, it was a bit harder for them.
It was quite a struggle.
It was
yes.
quite a struggle. They clawed their way through some good decision makings, but also some very shaky performances. We were kind of thinking, questioning, probably the better word, their plays in certain sense. But H2k and SK Prime both looked exceptionally strong throughout this tournament.
Yeah, H2k and SK Prime very much playing the way we would expect them to. NIP obviously is running with subs, so they've had some troubles. They may be able to pull it back. We'll see whenever they play the loser of this next game. But H2k and SK Prime themselves have had a very clear run through to this stage. Now, this is essentially a rematch from the Riot Challenger Series, the Cook Challenger Series finals, which we had recently, which ended up being 3-2 in the favor of H2k. So
an exceptionally close series.
Yeah, very, very closely matched teams.
They both favored Maokai in that series.
Who doesn't?
Hopefully, because I'm sick of looking at him and sick of the similar kind of team play that comes out, the composition you play with him, I'm hoping that they will ban him out a little bit. We see something a little bit more variety, and hopefully the best of one brings out the best of these teams.
Yeah, it is interesting. We have seen a couple of games now. The very early stages of this tournament were dominated by Maokai continually. We have seen a couple of other top laners start to slip through. We've seen the Maokai, the Alistar, and the Nidalee generally being the big 3. So, assuming 2 of those are banned out, then obviously the remainder one will usually be picked. But a lot of teams now are adopting a strategy of we'll let you have Maokai if you let us have Nidalee, or vice versa, or Alistar interchange with either of those 2 words.
Yeah, we've seen Alistar kind of come in, and sometimes he's been unbelievably unstoppable. Other times he's been less than lackluster. He's really depending on, like, no one really knows the set way to build him top lane. We've seen Triforce Static Shiv, we've seen straight out tank. I think Triforce is generally the idea you want to be going for, but we've kind of seen variations, a lot of variations on the build for Alistar top.
Yeah, most builds involve a Sheen. I have yet to see in this tournament anyone going for an Iceborne Gauntlet. I could actually see that being a very plausible option for him, since that would give you the ability to continue to CC people after you've gotten your initial jump-in down. You can proc it with the heal, which is a much shorter cooldown. But it may not come to pass. Maybe that we continue to see Triforce Alistar being the thing. So, mid laners now, generally still the same old priority picks, but it's interesting in that both of the mid laners for H2k and SK Prime are arguably their star players.
Yes.
And also interesting that both of them have a phenomenally strong Xerath.
Yes, both will be prioritizing that pick. I'd be surprised with SK Prime on the red side. They won't have first pick. They probably will ban it out, though, just in case. But what they leave open, though, is the other problem. Do they leave Maokai open? Do they leave the Kassadin open? We've seen a Kassadin work very well for some teams. He's still the very mobile assassin late-game hyper carry that he always has been. It's going to be interesting to see how picks and bans go. I think it could be won or lost based on picks and bans.
Oh, very much so. It's going to be really, really interesting to see, because this is typically thus far in the tournament, it has been dominating the top lane, has been dominating the bans. Occasionally you'll see like a Lucian ban go in there, or a Cogmore or something like that thrown at freeze, I think we saw. But when you have, of course, your best players, your star players in a particular role, you want to prioritize getting them exactly the right champion at exactly the right time. Of course, mid lane is very counter-pick dependent, so
Has to work with your composition as well.
yeah,
Can't
there are
just
many
pick
factors to consider.
Can't just throw Nunu in there for random reasons.
That would be a bit tricky to run with effectively. Though we have seen Nunus in this tournament as a jungle, but the Nunu mid not particularly viable. Sometimes I actually see Nunu top.
It's very
plausible
annoying.
still.
It's very annoying.
Yeah, I
played against it a couple of times, and it's just sustain poke. It's just not fun.
I used to play it way back when Nunu top was a thing. But I was actually playing it before it was a thing, when it was actually stronger than when it was a thing.
So you were a hipster.
I was such a hipster, but I was playing it. I was just riding the gravy train. Like it
Yeah.
was so broken.
It was very, very tough to deal with, especially red side. Especially, I found when his kind of like, remember the patch that brought in the kind of new effects with his consume. If he had a golem or a small lizard or something like that, he got different effects.
Well, that was when Nunu top actually went away.
Yes, that is when it went away. But I remember it still kind of stayed there, and it was really annoying. If you could get it on red side, you could just go back, eat the golem, don't even kill it, just eat it, and come back, and you come back with the extra health that it gave you. So it was a little bit annoying.
Yeah, I mean that is, but at the same time, they did take a large amount off the base values for the heals,
Yes.
the AP ratios, and quite a few other things. They really tried very, very hard to force him into
The
that
nerf hammer
that
was out
jungle
big
role.
time.
Yeah, it very much was, because Nunu top was. It's one of those lanes that had absolutely no counterplay. It was he walks up, he snowballs you, he auto attacks you, and he consumes if you try and harass him back. Almost impossible to deal with. So they got rid of it. We don't really have to worry about that now. Picks coming in. Syndra being the first ban.
Yeah,
I can see that.
I
for
can
both
see
of
that.
them.
Power
Both
of Evil
teams.
is a very strong Syndra. Nidalee also banned out as well. We will not be seeing a top lane Nidalee, which opens the door for Maokai and Alistair again. Will they be banned out? We're not quite sure. As you say in this tournament, we've said it about a million times, if you leave Maokai open, everyone seems to have a counter for him, but it never works out.
No. The only one that's worked so far is Nidalee, who is no longer with us. So, Kassadin ban out, all fairly standard. They're just going for the power picks at the moment. I am not too surprised to see the Kassadin ban, although it is interesting to know, I believe it was Power of Evil, possibly one of the other challenger mid laners that I've seen recently, has been running Talon a couple of times to play against the Kassadin, but clearly not feeling like that's a pick they can be confident in. It's certainly been seen in the LCS.
Yes, plenty of
Unsuccessfully.
times. Voyboy, a big fan of that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Do you see the Maokai ban, though? And again, pretty standard bans right now. Where honestly, if the Alistair gets through, I'd be interested to see what they play against it, because Alistair is kind of just as much sustain and CC top laner with great amounts of sustain in team fights.
Right. So now Alistar is the only one of the big three top laners that's left open.
Do they leave
Lucian
up
was the
Xerath?
ban out. That is the problem they are facing right now. Obviously, SK Prime is probably going to be the ones to want to run Xerath slightly more than H2k, because they love to run a very strong sieging composition. Cogmore ban isn't like a really standard ban, but it works very, very well when you consider that you do not want to run anyone basically other than Lucian into Cogmore, because you can't really bully him out early enough. And H2k, with the Nami first pick, very strong support, do not get us wrong.
Very, very strong, but
Very high priority other picks available.
and they have two, and Orianna was left open as well, who's also a very, very strong, reliable mid laner and Rengar. So we have to see the two of them being Kikis taking the Rengar and Power of Evil taking the Orianna. That's a big combo that they could be possibly using, and that was slipped through the bans. That's a little bit of a slip up there for H2k.
Well, it's a very, very powerful combo. I'm surprised that they... You see, the problem with going for something like a Rengar-Orianna combo, if your opponents pick the Nami, and if they pick up like an Alistar, if they build too heavy of a disengaged composition, and they've got plenty of time, plenty of picks to do that with, that combo can really start to fall down, because you might end up in a situation where, yeah, maybe you can give one person by blowing all of your AoE skills on them, but then you get counter-engaged, then you have to really deal with some difficult stuff. Kha'Zix obviously is becoming a fairly popular jungler again.
Yeah, we'll see the matchup, the lore matchup that's not available at this little mini mission. It's not available in Tournament Realm. But
That's true.
Tristana, again, another hyper carrion. With Lucian and Kog'Maw both banned out. Ezreal he's always hanging around. He's never unviable. He's not very strong, but he's never unviable.
Ezreal's a strange beast. He has an unusual power curve where he's average-ish late game, pretty strong mid game, and weak yet strong early game. He is very strong, assuming in the early game he is able to jump on you and have no minions to deal with. In an all-in, he is phenomenally powerful, probably one of the best at level 1, if not the best, short of maybe like Draven. But the problem is, of course, playing around the minions. But if you have a really aggressive engaged support, sometimes you don't have to. Leona Ezreal is really a lane to be feared. So we'll see what they go with.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Twitch though. I like that
Alistar.
pickup though. It gives him a little bit. He's not the old Twitch ADC hyper carry, but he's still very, very strong in the late game if he can get a good rat-a-tat-tat across the entire team.
Yeah, they basically nerfed his base values though, so his presence in the lane could be a little bit weak actually, because Tristana, not associated with being a lane bully, but is actually quite good in the super early game, and if she can build up an advantage then, capitalize on it at level 6, especially with Nami support, very, very strong. SK Prime, however, of course, are not committed at this point to having a 2v2. They could run Alistar and have him pull the old roaming tricks to avoid having to deal with that.
Technically, it could still be an Alistar support.
Could be. It could be.
So we haven't even.
I wouldn't bet on it.
I wouldn't bet on it either. I wouldn't bet
on
it.
Nami Tristana.
It's a Shen though in the top lane, so
flexible.
Imagine that 2 globals though being picked up by H2k. That's a lot of investment in global roaming.
Oh, that's very scary. Actually, looking at that right now. Double globals synergizes with itself, basically, because where before you could have one person turning up and it would be quite scary, as long as you had your jungler there, you could deal with it. 2 people almost always gives you the numbers advantage, and that enables you to get more kills, enables you to snowball both of the globals, so it could be interesting to watch. I feel like Shen, as he does with almost every single lane, maybe he'll lose a little bit early to Alistar top. Most likely, however, he will be able to simply tank his way through it and eventually turn into a brick wall that Alistar can't deal with. So the question becomes, who will win in the mid lane matchup? Will Power of Evil be able to keep Forbidden pushed up? This is one of Forbidden's favorite champions. Yeah,
it is. And honestly, when it hits 6, I imagine everything is going to come up. You have the Shen ulti, you have the Destiny from Twisted Fate, you have the Orianna Rengar combo, you have so many possibilities coming out from pretty much every single lane that it's almost impossible to figure out which way it's all going to go. I favor that if they can keep Forbidden's Twisted Fate pushed up and he's not able to roam, then I would favor that SK Prime can get the combo off and can get a good initiation from that, maybe rolling down from a dragon from there. But if they do not get, if he's allowed to roam, with Shen being in the top lane anyway, they can dive a 5-man dive down bot lane very, very easily.
Yeah, there's a lot of options. Of course, don't discount SK Prime's ability to dive. They have got that Alistar teleport, Rengar ganks, very, very scary combos. But now, looks like we're going to be seeing... I'd imagine we won't actually see too much level 1 action here. SK Prime do have some scary stuff. If they can get a Dark Binding on, they can get the Alistar Pulverize.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
It's H2k that are actually grouping up, moving towards the enemy's brush. They also have strong early CC.
I think they're trying to get the early ward down, as we do see Nami did go, or AOD did go with a ward. But I think they're just trying to figure out where this SK Prime bot lane is going. They would have an advantage if it was a straight up 2v2, but as we can see right now, SK Prime are looking for the 2v1.
Yeah, they're certainly hanging around the top area. This is still very early time for the minions to spawn, so there's plenty of time to bluff, show yourself top, back off and go bot lane. which is the ideal scenario. If you can fool the enemy into swapping up their bot lane, then you keep control of Dragon, and you also get your advantage of not having to 2v2. Unlikely to occur. We'll go on sat in that brush.
Let's have a talk about, though, the Kha'Zix Rengar matchup. I haven't seen it a lot in competitive play. Kha'Zix only kind of recently come back into prominence. Rengar has been... He hasn't done well in Europe. Let's be honest now. He hasn't done exactly the well. So how is that going to work out now? I think now if they do find each other in the jungle, Kha'Zix should win the trades with isolation damage. It's very, very tough to call.
I'm not so sure, honestly. Rengar's power curve in the early game, if he gets on you, tends to be really, really difficult to deal with. And Kha'Zix's damage, maybe with the isolation damage. I certainly don't think Rengar will have an easy time killing him since he can jump over walls. But, maybe we will see that matchup actually occur. Kikis certainly has been known to play a lot of Rengar, and he's actually one of the better EU junglers with that champion, as far as I've been able to see. Generally actually meets with success on that. Trashy does like to play as carry junglers as well, of course. But Kha'Zix, I think, is a new one for him, at least in this tournament. Of course, we didn't catch their first game. That was unfortunately not an option for us, but SK Prime going for the counter engage now.
Yeah, I see it. You can see it right now. H2k are looking to see where they need to send their bot lane. Looks like Tristana's going to go towards this. Nami might be on a bit of a roam as well. They will see Twitch, so they know that Twitch is going top lane. I'm going to keep Shen. It's going to be a trade up, but honestly, H2k have got control over a very early game. They could technically go for it with a Shen.
It's certainly possible. Super early dragons aren't the usually done thing, but we might see it level 3, level 4-ish. Certainly follow along farm going on in the jungle right now. They're aware of the 2v1. The same is true on both sides, even though it was SK Prime that initiated the swap. So we will be getting farm onto that Twitch, and that could become a serious problem later on. His damage will start to spike up a lot sooner than Tristana. Her Doldrum is really where he starts to peak. But for now, looks like we're just going to be seeing follow along jungling. Most likely in a minute or two, we'll see the support start to roam, and the AD carry looks to freeze up the top. Threaten the dive if anyone is actually going to defend the tower, but probably won't be anyone.
No, probably won't. We do see, though, that the bot lanes are trying to... you see the bot lane. They're just going to freeze the lane, make sure they get enough of a farm up on each other. Let's see now exactly where they all decide to go, but right now, they might go with the level 2 Alistar onto the Twisted Fate. They have no Morgana roaming down. It looks like they're going to try and go for it.
He should be aware. This is the normal timing with an Alistar. This is the kind of shenanigans you normally pull.
He did pop his ghost, though, so he will get away from this pretty damn safely.
Good.
Not a bad way to position themselves. He did, rather than panicking and running back to his tower, he did run the other way, knowing the 4 of them were there. Was able to only pop his ghost for his troubles. It's not too bad.
Yeah, wasted quite a lot of time.
They're waiting. They see him there now. They're going to be a lot of trouble. They do flip in though with. That's a good pull. Oh my god, it's a great pulverize. They do unfortunately get the last hit though with Tristana. She's able to rock and jump back away. They're going to go for a 4-man push on this pot tower. Very nice.
Yeah, indeed. Shortly after this, they should actually be able to go and get that dragon, assuming Kikis isn't actually in position to stop them. Going under.
Oh, wow, that is a big, big taunt on the tower. He flashed away as well. Here comes Spuddington though with the teleport. Do not get anything except that it waits to cool down, and Shen is still alive. Shen is still, I would say he's very healthy, but he's not going to die anytime soon, especially with these two people. Here they go. They might try and go again. Nami throwing down a bit of poke. Oh, that's a great dark binding, stopping it in there. They use the exhaust. It doesn't matter. Garden picks himself up another kill. This is going from bad to worse for SK Prime. They do eventually pick up Kha'Zix, but they lost 3 kills in that entire extended fight and a ton of damage on that turret.
Hyanan has picked up 2 kills as well. That's a really big thing for him. He's going to start to scale up a lot sooner than he would have done normally. Twitch is still freezing happily in that top lane and will probably be ahead on experience for it. And of course, because of that last death H2k will not be able to take that dragon, so as long as they don't lose any more kills in that area, and as long as they're able to defend the dragon now while H2k tries to set up for it, 3 versus 4 potentially, then they should be able to count that as not necessarily a win, but not a catastrophic loss, because Ziz will get strong, and that will come back to help them in a few minutes' time.
Yeah, but for all the time he's back in the top lane, there's not a lot really going on. There's going to be a big wave now for Garnet to eat up. And I don't think she's taking anything in her explosive shot just yet.
Saving the points.
Saving the points, very nicely done. Means that she doesn't push the wave as well, which is also very, very clever.
That's the entire reason.
But Twitch now against Shen. He will hit level 6, probably another wave and a half. Then he will really start to hit hard. For the moment it is a H2k.
Oisin has got level 3 and is now... This is a classic Shen 1v2 scenario. He's not awful at it. He'll take damage when he tries to push out, but he will actually survive and get experience, assuming no dives come. Which means with these wars, he's pretty much safe up there for now.
Yeah, for the moment he's definitely safe. They did catch out though that Trashy was around there, so they knew that if they did go for a dive, even if they were thinking about it, that he would have been around. He is backing off though. Picks up the components of his Lizard Elder, Spirit of the Lizard Elder. Now it's going to be slow push though for Fizz and Zaitan as they try and zone out this gem. Definitely a lot better for them to delay the level 6 of Shen than it is for H2k to delay the level 6 of Alistair. In the sense that he does get the global from Shen.
Yeah, that is true. Right now, Shen is taking no damage. Alistair's tower should drop fairly soon, although because he's actually there to defend. Big stayed. Not really getting engaged upon. Stain is good though.
Stain is good. AOD did get caught up there, but Trashy is down that bottom and he's there for the shot. They do have to go forward. Or go down though in the end. Again, it's going to be a tower to be picked up there. Trashy there just for insurance. They should be able to roam back down as well for the dragon.
Poking away in the mid lane right now. They don't know exactly where he is. That's why SK Prime has been forced to head over to this blue area. Pass that across. Trashy's actually there though.
Trashy does not get the smite steal, although will go over to kick it. Doesn't get it over to Oriana though, so still a denial.
Yeah, and that's going to hurt them in the pushing. They need to keep Twisted Fate pushed back. It's much harder to do that with the lack of blue. Blue is fine. So, let's take stock at this point. 1,000 gold difference. Yes, definitely true. If it weren't for the 2 kills, however, the way that SK Prime has played this would actually be okay. They were just a little bit cocky about how they defended that bottom tower. As a result, they lost out on that. They lost out on kills. And obviously lost the tower that little bit quicker, but they probably could have just abandoned it as it was in order to keep themselves from dying. Would have found themselves with a more farm Ziz. As it is, however, though, Twitch is looking scary. Once he's shopped, he is going to probably have at least a Bilgewater and Berserker's Greaves. That should give him the ability to start roaming around and creating picks, something no other AD carry can really do.
Definitely, once he gets to play the Rune King and works towards his IE or his last hit, you start getting 2 or 3 items into it, you definitely become that assassination threat with the ambush. Put a little bit now on this mid. Good wave clear though from Twisted Fate. Not going to trouble him very much.
H2k really need to keep ward control very thoroughly. If you think about this composition from SK Prime, their ability right now, with the level 6 on kickers, with the stealth that Twitch has had, and the fact that he's quite farmed, he's got his Bilgewater, he's got crowd control. The fact that they have all this crowd control and multiple sources of stealth, UTJ will likely itemize for mobility boots. There is so much danger that can come out of not knowing exactly where everyone is at any given time, which means if that control ever slips, whether that be off the back of a bad fight or anything else, then you're going to have serious problems dealing with them. The funny thing, of course, though, is that SK Prime also need to keep incredibly close vision control and an eye on where everyone is, because H2k can also appear from literally nowhere. That tussle between the two of them is actually cancelling out at the moment. Neither side getting too much from it.
Yeah, here we go. It's ultimate pop Smitty J. We saw this so many times yesterday. He does go in onto Andromeda. He's not going to get out of it, though. He's just trying to trade back as much damage as he can. His ultimate just ran out there. He might not be able to take that one. No, he won't. But now they know that Twisted Fate's ultimate's down. They may just go for Dragon. This could be worth it if SK Prime can pull this off.
Yep, if they are able to kill this relatively quickly, then they won't have to worry about losing tempo. However, Yanan is there. AOD is there. No tidal wave yet, though. That is actually huge in this situation. And Orianna is roaming. They've actually caught it.
Yeah, they caught out Sassy there. They're going to have to use it. Zaitan taken very low. He might take down in the last second. He won't actually. He does survive. Not enough off the explosive shot. Yarnan just barely missing out on that opportunity to take a kill. They take Dragon. Twisted Fate has been pushing up top lane, but Alistair's got some
I actually thought Dragon was going to aggro on Zaitan at the very end of that, but he was the nearest target, and Dragon was turning, but it didn't actually fire any shots, so he survived the experience. Which you want to tell your grandkids about. One day I got punted into a dragon by a midget with a cannon.
As they wheel you into the mental home.
Yeah. I mean, it is Morgana.
I suppose.
Do fallen angels have mental homes? They don't strike me as the sort that would go in for it.
No, not quite. We see now more and more farming, and I haven't seen the Shen ulti at all. Really, I suppose it is 4-on-1 to kills. He hasn't really had an opportunity to.
Did use it once. Dragon fight this time, but the disengage came in after Stand United.
I meant probably a better way to say it. I haven't seen him use it in a useful kind of productive way. That's a great shockwave though. Catches up the three of them. Oh, Andromeda, I don't know, terrible dark binding. They are trying to jump onto Shen though. It's a good bubble to stop any engage there. Here he goes. It's not going to be enough though. That's a very bad move there by Smitty J. He tried to flash in, use the pulverize, not quite. Power of Evil though. Put the shot.
Yeah, really does, and that's the kind of thing we expect to see from Power of Evil. A lot of damage put across, and even though they didn't have the numbers advantage to full-on engage off of it, it really forces it to take off the tower and forced Shen to back away as well. They didn't actually get the kill though.
Yeah, a lot of small mistakes there. A very bad Dark Binding from Zaitan, a pretty badly misjudged flash pulverized there from Smitty J as well. It could have worked out that they could have gotten a fantastic engage, taken 2 or maybe even 3 kills. Just didn't quite go in their favor.
Yeah. So, now, continued farming up. Neither side particularly heavily outscales the other here. So, there's no huge incentive for either side to force engages really hard. Both sides should be looking to try and take advantage of each other's cooldowns, though. The picking cooldowns that SK Prime have are a lot shorter. The windows to take advantage of are much shorter. I was trying to think of another word for short there, but
much more brief.
But certainly H2Ks, however, are probably that little bit more influential. Their abilities, the Twisted Fate ultimate is much harder to take a chance of. So it's going to be difficult. It's just this game of, is that person extending and disrespecting the Twisted Fate ult, or are they baiting for a stealth range up?
It's map management as well. It's a lot of kind of playing your opponents well. If you can bait out a Twisted Fate ulti and get away from it, it's a huge cooldown burst it out. That's a lot of damage still going at Yarn, and he needs to be very careful. That wave is up. Rise is not though. Again, as I was saying, you know, you can end up getting baited in by a Shen ulti as well. It's very easy to forget that shield is quite significant. With Forbidden, he did lock a red card at the back away, forcing back. Here we go, that's what I'm talking about, the triple. They're trying to use so much there. It's a great shockwave though on the Yarn, and they're going to need to trade back this damage. It's map management. They got caught in the top lane. They tried to make something happen in the mid lane, and great disengage there from Power of Evil and Zaitan.
Yeah, they actually cancelled Forbidden's ult as well up in the top lane. Alistar got up to him, stopped him from coming in. So in many ways, it's actually H2k that should be grateful that they were disengaged from, because not having the Twisted Fate they were expecting to could have cost them very, very dearly in the end. Of course, SK Prime could not have necessarily taken account of their ability to stop it, but big cooldowns used. No longer need to go for the source of the teleport in order to make plays happen. With that window, looks like they intend to just keep shoving down. Forbidden is top, though, taking that tower, so they need to be productive with this time.
Yeah, he's coming to top lane. He should be able to take that one down. Realistically, he's going to back away. It should go down. Maybe very soon. Maybe very soon. He's going to be able to take it down now. Using it to deny as many minions as he possibly can. There it goes. That's a good pick up for him. But Ziz has been farming quite a bit now in this bot lane. He's been keeping up quite significantly with Tristan, and he's getting a lot of free turret damage as well.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Good one. Move away there. Rolling, try to slow him down. There goes the soul shackle. There is no flash. There is no more content left either. They're going to get Shen down from this. King is picking it back. Very nicely done. They're going to tank up this one. If you want to tank it up too much.
It's a good thing that happens with tower shots.
Yes, it's very, very good. Otherwise, it could be a very scary situation. Destiny is up though, so they might try to get Forbidden. He is angling himself. That ambush won't do you very good if you get caught. I think they're giving up on it though. Dragon is up at 2 minutes. Oh, here we go, here we go. It's a nice one. That's a great shockwave. Here we go. Now that's what we're talking about. Harnan is going to be caught out. The teleport is both coming in. They're trying to get a little bit of control. O'Dramana does come from the side. They get it. It's not onto CJ. He is so tanky at the moment right now. He's going to pop his ultimate. No, he's not actually. Or he did, excuse me. He already popped his ultimate. It's not going to be enough. Thanks far too much. Morgana gets caught up. This is another extended fight. They are trying to go onto Shen. He's taking low as well. Are going to just rotate, try take the dragon, knowing that the shockwave and Alistar are down.
Low mana on Trashy. He will actually get it back from hitting the dragon. So, H2k baiting, or are they doing? No, they're baiting.
They're baiting, yes. They're trying to get something now. They're trying to go for it now. There is a ward right there. Rengar has got his strut of the hunt. He can jump in onto this. The longer this takes, though.
Stunkard down.
Yes, here goes Stunkard down. They're going to jump onto Zaytad. Zaytad taking so much damage, but he's going to take a long time to kill. Here we go. It's not going to be a steal, though. King is jumping in for no real reason. Does get the kill in the end by Tristana. It's a double kill onto her. Nicely played by H2k. Felt like they delayed that very, very well. Once they saw that the Kickers had popped the threat of the hunt, they just immediately stopped it from going too low.
Yeah, they held it on the right health. Kick is over-prioritized going for the dragon rather than winning the fight, which left the rest of SK Prime kind of in the lurch. They really didn't have any way without Rengar in the right position to get anything done. He didn't even extend his own life as long as he probably would have liked to. He went for the Q, went for that last little bit of damage rather than the heal and the tankiness off his empowered W. Forbidden now, shoving out the top lane. Twitch shoving out the bottom lane. And again, timing windows. No Rengar ult right now, so you may as well. Fairly safe to do.
Yeah, and Shockwave has come up now. We haven't seen any Orianna Rengar combos as of yet. Still waiting on that kind of, you know, Ghost Elf ball delivery system from the cat jump, but not really happening right now as of yet. We do see some pretty nice items being stacked up though for Twisted Fate and for Tristana, both getting pretty nicely into their builds. Oh, here we go. Here's the ambush. They're trying to get a bit of a slow. They won't catch him though. Or will they? They will catch him, but it doesn't matter. He's not going to go down anytime soon.
Reinforcements have arrived too.
Yes.
Can be a problem for you if you want to try and kill a very, very tanky man that takes probably, I'd say it would have taken them about 15 seconds to kill him. So
yeah, it would have been a bit risky to try and burst him down, because I don't think they would have been able to.
Yeah, bursting not an option, then he'd dash away. And maybe they'd catch up, but by then you'd...
By that time, you would imagine the rest of
TF would be on, yeah.
Yes.
Speaking of...
Here we go. Here comes the Destiny. It's a good Black Shield, though. They're going to stop Power of Evil from getting caught. Oh, that's another Shockwave, though. It forces the flash from the Forbidden. He tries to get at the Hjarnan. That's a bad bubble, though. It's not going to catch anybody. Forbidden does get the kill, though. Or not. Navi gets the kill. Morgana goes down as well. Twisted Fate goes down. They're trying to get Ziz to try and kite. It's not going to be enough, though. Kikis was trying to go in the back end. Again, again, very poorly done there. No teleport on the side of Alistair. They're just using those globals very, very well.
Yep, they keep catching people out with that. So even though Power Evil is actually responding incredibly well when Twisted Fate goes in on him, he is almost always catching him in a shockwave or a dissonance. He's juggling them extremely well. There simply is no way to avoid it if you get flash stun carded. And that means your team and you have to be in a position to respond before the gank ever comes in, without H2k actually being aware that you're in position. Or, of course, be proactive. Look to start making pushes happen. Force Twisted Fate to respond to you, and you don't have to worry so much. The primary method that most teams use to deal with this kind of thing is you go for the source of the teleport. You jump onto Forbidden with your Rengar. You gank him. Or you gank Shen, or that's a little more difficult to pull off. So
you could still do it. Same principle, I understand, yeah.
Forbidden is split pushing a lot.
Yes.
So he should be vulnerable to this.
He's split pushing a lot, but he's not overextending. I've never seen him at a point where I'm thinking he should back now. He's always just been at the threshold of just pushing it, pushing the letter open and then kind of going, no, never mind, I'm going to back away now. I've done my job, and it just creates a good global pressure for SK Prime to deal with, as they're all about the AOE team fights of getting Alistar in there, getting the Rengar in, having Twitch just absolutely wreck with the Rat-a-tat-tat. But at the moment, H2k are just not letting them do that.
If Forbidden never overextends, though, of course, what you can do is change the balance of what's overextension from what do you expect.
Yeah, no, oh, that's a good tunnel. That's a great shot, but they are forced to use the Shen ultimate. She will go down, though. He has to end up changing his not getting in on time. Oh, he did get in on time. Sorry, excuse me. Kick is going to get slowed down. They do not get the Empowered Guido onto... Empowered Bola, I should say. Onto Shen. They are trying to push down this mid lane. They have got positioning. That was a nice pick from SK Prime. They are trying to push from this. Yeah,
this is a good situation for them, since they can now force the fight. Tristana still isn't really scaling up too much. She's getting there, definitely. 5-0 is helping with that. But she's not hit the power spike to 3 items. And SK Prime did just take a lot of poke from Kha'Zix, so they may actually be forced to back off here. Kikis was already low. Don't want to stick around if you're going to have a respawning opponent.
Yeah, don't want to overextend. Dragon will be up in a minute as well. They want to be able to contest that. And the difference probably between the last Dragon and this Dragon is they will have the Shockwave.
They will have the Shockwave, but how will they respond to Forbidden right now? Look at his positioning. He's shoving out the top lane. SK Prime, if they all go to Dragon, what happens? Forbidden sees it coming. He walks away. He teleports down to Dragon. They take Dragon. If they go top, with say 2 people, try and gank him, the rest of the team of H2k, even if they succeed in killing Forbidden, should be able to take him down. Alternately, do what he's doing right now. Build a slow push wave up there, and simply roam down to join up with the team, while Kha'Zix also applies that map pressure there, controlling the waves quite intelligently. And it's creating opportunities for them. A lot of pings.
A lot of pings and a lot of pinks as well. It's very, very hard for
nice vision.
Anybody to really get in on this. Here goes Kikis, though. He's got to get caught up by a stun card. He needs to be very, very careful. Here comes Kha'Zix jumping in onto him. They will get a stun onto Kha'Zix. They're going to have to back away from this. This is going to be a Dragon, unless, of course... No, Twitch has got to help. It's another free Dragon up to MIP.
They are seeding that Dragon over to their opponents. Which is really not ideal, because H2k is starting to build up quite a lead here. 37k to 32. It's the kind of margin that really starts having big influences on the fights. Kyanan about to start really scaling.
Yeah,
it's only going to get worse.
Only going to get even better. Well, worse for SK Prime, better for H2k, as we do see a lot of their members sitting on quite a bit of gold. As they do start to trade in onto this bottom lane. It's going to be a pretty standard take. Nothing too crazy. They are going to be able to take that one there. And good map rotations. They're going to be able to get more and more objectives as they keep this pressure up.
Yeah, it's working very, very well for them right now. They continue to control the entire game. Odwamne backing out. Double globals. Not something we've seen in quite a long time, but I suppose it was only a matter of time since Shen was re-enabled in competitive play and Twisted Fate was coming back in. But, still haven't seen it in quite a long time.
No, not in a while. Do you see though that SK Prime are starting to try and get a little bit of vision of the Baron? It is that time now where you can get a cheeky one. Just using the Destiny to check if they were doing it. Very nicely done. You know, wastes a cooldown, but it's at the level 2 stage or level 11 stage, so it shouldn't be too much of a cooldown. So we do start to wait for the next push. They have to deal with bot lane though, because it's got a slow push and it will do a lot of damage to the turret. And Shen has got TP. He can go down there.
You can bet your bottom dollar H2k knows it, and they also know Smitty J does not have his own teleport. Rock and a hard place. You either contest the Baron, at which point H2k can gladly back off, or you take quite a large loss of farm. It's not going to take the tower, that wave isn't big enough, but you can lose out without losing big in a single fight. For very little risk here from H2k, with Shen still applying that pressure up the top.
Yeah, and kind of the advantage of having Shen in essence having a double teleport, really. He has got the Stand United and he has got the teleport, so he can teleport to a minion in the bottom lane to get some quick pressure there, and then use the Stand United to get back with the team. Yeah. So but here we go, here comes the fight. They use Power Reveal on the side, they're coming in the backside. Hjarnan does get caught up though. They are going to back away from this. This all started from a little bit of a misplay. And again, that bot lane, though, is still ticking away. I'm not quite sure it's going to get the tower. It's going to do a lot of damage onto it, though, just for minions.
Decent bit, but it's mainly the experience and the gold loss that they'll be regretting there, and the fact that it's forcing them into an awkward position. Ziz is stealth, but it's looking like this is just going to drop unless Kickers can get in there, but he's low on health, no flash.
No flash, low on health. He hasn't got his ultimate either. I don't really see them. They're kind of backing off from this a little bit. They're really afraid of them being able to burst this down. They're going to jump over, though. It's going to be an absolute decimation. Orianna goes down. So does Rengar. Smitty J is in the middle of the fight. He is just trying to do his best to just disengage. Shut down, though, onto Tristana. They are going to try to jump into behind Trashy. They are, not Trashy, Ziz. They are going to get the kill onto him. Eventually, Alistair goes down. Zaitan going to try and kite back. They are going to be able to kill him as well. It is a 4-for-1 as of now. It's going to be a 4-for-1 in the end. But that Baron was delayed. They should be able to take it now.
I really respect the clarity of H2k there. They understood that getting that fight there, where so many players on SK Prime were low, where so many of their targets were in position that they could easily burst them down, was worth more than just finishing off the Baron with a spin. Most likely they could have gotten that Baron, but they were still opening themselves up to the risk of a counter-engage or a steal, whereas in this situation, pretty much that was the only way that team fight was going to go in their favor, and as a result they pick up the Baron, pick up the extra kills, pick themselves up to 10k gold lead.
They are playing the map exceptionally well. Not only do they get the kills, the Baron, and a hell of a lot of a gold lead, nearly 10,000, but they now have a slow push going backwards. So with Forbidden or Hjarnan feels like they want a lot of farm or anything like that, they just got to go bot lane. There's a ton of gold there for them.
Yep, it's a lot less threatening for you to deal with if you've got Twisted Fate on your side, a slow push wave that is. Since you can just send him there, you can TP in to join the rest of the team. Same deal with Shen. Triss will probably stick around just because she wants to be there in case there's a big fight. They did get the shutdown on her. Ziz picked up that, so it's 500 gold. But still don't think I'd rate Twitch's chances in most of these fights right now. Stronger duelist, I guess, inherently. Well, actually, probably not actually in an AD carry fight, but he's going to need to take advantage of the AoE on his ultimate in order to get much done.
Yeah, SK Prime need a big fight to go their way right now. They need something to bring it back because Tristana's starting to scale. She will get her last Whisper on this back. You know, Forbidden is huge on Twisted Fate. We've seen him huge on other on the same champions just on so many games now, even in this tournament. Shen is starting to get tanky now where he's just not able to die. He also has the AoE, technically AoE of the Sunfire Cape just ticking down over. Honestly, we've seen a lot of Alistairs recently crop up. I'm not fully convinced. I feel like people either aren't playing him correctly or he's just not having the impact people feel that he should.
Yeah, he's a strange beast, but yeah, he's not doing too well in most of these 2v1 scenarios where the one time that we've seen him played very effectively in 2v1s, he was basically playing as a support roving around, ganking lanes. In these situations where he's been doing the follow-along farm for jungler, he hasn't been doing too much of that, hasn't been finding the opportunities. And his teamfight presence has also been a bit lackluster. In spite of the fact he's got two of the most powerful crowd control abilities and one of the most powerful defensive, okay, the most powerful defensive steroid that isn't called intervention in the game. And so, really quite strange.
This 1-3-1 is just going to stretch them even more. I don't really feel like there's anybody right now, unless Ziz gets a good ambush onto Twisted Fate who can duel him. Shen's just going to be too tanky and too much sustain. He's actually out-trading Smitty by tons right now. He's not able to deal with him. Forbidden pushing out that bot lane. It's only a matter of time before H2k take one of these last outer turrets.
Yeah. Viven is pushing bot. Power of Evil can no longer really beat him in a 1v1. Might be able to do okay and wave clear. He's not going to be able to kill him. There is no threat there.
Oh, here we go. There's the Destiny pop now. They aren't going to use it, though. It's just to give vision of the entire team. They are going to get the tower, though, in the end. Destiny was used to get him back to the mid lane faster, so we can get that push going. And again, what do you do if you're SK Prime? How can you counter this?
It's an incredibly difficult situation. They have almost no options now, and realistically, I think the only thing they can do is to look for an engage. It's a bad thing to have to do. This is not a situation where you will win, most likely. But the problem is, if things keep going like this, they're not going to get picks. It's highly unlikely they'll be able to catch anyone out with the amount of vision control around the place, and with the difficulty of straight up killing several of the players of H2k. So the gold gap will only increase as the towers start to drop. Eventually the inhib might crack open. And then they've got to deal with that map pressure. Baron won't be too much longer. 3 or 4 minutes, I think, tops. And
4,000 gold lead, though, for Forbidden.
yeah,
That is monumentally huge.
that is more than a death cap straight there. And he's going to have his Lich Bane soon, so he's going to be that much more fearsome in the split push-up. All told, right now, SK Prime running out of options. That's why I said they should go for engage. Go for the ball combo, try and kill Tristana immediately. Or arguably actually kill Forbidden instantly, but that's one of the problems they're facing with too many threats. And pray. Wing and a prayer, basically, at this point. Go for it.
Yeah, and actually, wow, Nami giving the extra lifesteal around as Zeke's Herald.
Yeah, it makes sense, actually.
It makes sense. I agree with it, but I haven't seen it competitive way in quite a while.
No, I can't actually think of the last time I saw somebody build it. It makes a certain amount of sense in this case, obviously, because Forbidden doesn't directly scale off of those the AD stat, but he is auto-attacking quite a lot, simply for the stack deck and for the pick a card and the Lich Bane and all the rest of it. Looks like we might be about to see a dead cow.
Oh no,
Sacrificial
Alistair.
calf.
Sacrificial calf. Here comes the Destiny. He's already forced the flash. He does pop the ultimate there. Once the gold card goes down, they won't be able to catch him. Nicely done there. Destiny used flash, though. They will not be seeing any flash pulverizes anytime soon. So honestly, with the state of cooldowns right now, Forbidden being level 17 and having a good stack of cooldowns in his build a little bit, actually. We do see them. Here we go, the ball delivery system. They're trying to get in position. They're trying to get something. That's a good shockwave, though. He's going to force the flash, though, from AOD. They're trying to get more onto Forbidden. He's going to get taken loads of damage. Oh, nicely done there. They are going to be able to jump on the trashy. Good way with a Kickus. Is going to get taken down, though, by Hjarnan. As we do see the dot, but in mid lane, they are still going toe-to-toe. Odwamina is going to win that fight overall. They are starting to group up. They should be able to siege up and crack the base.
Yeah, it's really irrelevant what happened in that mid lane there, other than the fact that Odwamina couldn't actually join the fight, but he could cast that shield. And that was, yeah, it was a desperation engage. They nearly killed one, but too many flashes to deal with at that point. Couldn't catch anyone down, and now H2k goes back. They know they've got the map pressure now. They know they can control the game. Well, they've been doing that all along, but they could certainly control the pace of the game from here. Take that inhib next time. Split push with the Shen or the Twisted Fate, whichever. They have many options. And SK Prime have no choice but to go for another desperation engage whenever they next appear. It's horrible, but that's all they can do.
Yeah, they are. Look at the vision as well. They've got so little vision right now in the side of their own jungle. Absolutely loads there. They know exactly where H2k know exactly where everybody is. They know Rengar's at blue, so they can go for a Baron. They have no vision around Baron though for SK Prime. This is a terrible situation for them. That's just going to be a free Baron straight up. There is nothing that SK Prime can do.
Yep. Nothing at all. Could be a bait as far as they know, so that's why they're not going there.
No vision. Absolutely
If it wasn't,
none.
they would just turn around. So, yep, SK Prime. I think Dizzy's is dancing earlier, so maybe going to have to look towards the losers bracket and looking to fight their way back to face H2k again.
Yeah, they honestly, the way it's looking now, they look like they are nearly down and out. I think aside from a monumental, a monumental mistake coming out from H2k, I don't really see how SK Prime can come out of this strong. They just haven't got the team fights at all, really. They haven't played the map correctly at all. Like, at the moment, they have got teleport on Smitty J, so that's why he is down in the bot lane. But for Bivin, he's going to keep pushing up that mid lane. They have nothing to deal with.
I'm not a man to be defeatist, but it looks like they may have been defeated.
Yeah, oh wow, King is getting a lot of damage just for 2 auto attacks. They get the 2 tanky people though, that's not the ones they really wanted. They do get it stun onto Odrama, they are, or an AOD, they are going to be able to back this up though. But
mid lane.
Yeah, the mid lane for Bivin just taking down that turret. His Lich Bane is working wonders for his team. He'll be able to keep stacking that one out. As we do see now, literally waiting to see if he can go in. There he goes, he's just going to keep going onto that. Going to be able to take that tower there, so as we go back to the top lane, that goes down as well. This is nearly impossible. They need a desperation engage. They're going to lose an inhibitor. They are losing the base though as well. Smitty J trying to do the best he can, and there's just no way they can defend this. They lose another inhibitor. Here comes the Destiny though onto Ziz. They're trying to get into it. That's not going to help you very much at all. He gets melted right there. Absolutely destroyed. There goes another inhibitor. That's the 3rd inhibitor. This is going to be game unless a godsend of some horrible bug that just spawns all your inhibitors right back. This is just a slow death at the moment for SK Prime. There's not a lot they can do.
Yeah, this isn't the kind of performance we would have expected from them, but some of their games in the right Challenger Series with snowballing, it doesn't mean they're necessarily out of this whole tournament yet. Yeah. They're giving it a good shot at holding this.
Yeah, they're trying. Bivin does go down as his 2nd death of the game, though. They are going to start picking up the kills. So Tristana picks up a double, picks up a triple. She's got to be able to get the quadra. Very nicely done there by Tristana. Ends the game with 4 kills there. It was a very, very convincing win there in the end for H2k, but it's not over yet for SK Prime. They still have the losers bracket against Ninjas in Pajamas, who they have beaten previously in this tournament, but very lackluster. They didn't play the map right.
Yeah, that is definitely true. And actually, you've got to feel bad for Copenhagen Wolves as well when that happens in the LCS promotionals. But certainly, not looking so good for SK Prime, but not out of the tournament yet. They will drop to the lower bracket, which we will be broadcasting tomorrow. That was our last game for today. So if you've enjoyed my casting, feel free to follow me at Spuddington on Twitter. Feel free to follow him at LolBloodPenguin. You can also check out FACEIT, which is a service that enables you to get yourself matched up against teams of similar skill, players of a similar skill. Do 1v1s, 2v2s in leagues, 5v5s obviously as well.
Yeah.
3v3s, 4v4s. I don't know if they are 4v4s. That'd be a bit of an odd feature, but certainly you can get yourself matched up with other players, win fabulous prizes against players of similar skill. Also do check out TeamSpeak and Overwolf, who are both purveyors of software most useful to gamers. And I think, with all that being said now, we will be heading off. We'll see you tomorrow, starting at 9 a.m. CET.